All right, well, I know I said I was going to take a break from the copyright claim stuff, and this doesn't really necessarily have to do anything with it. Just something interesting that happened to me last night into this morning, I guess. And, I've talked about May 13th. It'll be May 13th here in another half hour or so. Who knows if anything's really going to happen? But it just seems like they're showing me that date. They've been showing me the numbers that seem to correspond to that date. I also showed some other dates that maybe it has something to do with. Maybe I'm just being shown it to get me off of something else, I don't know. So I guess we'll see. But anyway, I was kind of trying to just take a break from all of this just for a day or so. But it just never ends. It always follows you. So last night, I did a few little blog posts, I guess, on a few articles I read. But anyway, I was just kind of watching the game, doing this or that. And my girlfriend doesn't get home from work until about 2 in the morning, give or take. So I thought, all right, I'll sit down and watch her stupid show with her. I can't think of what it's called right now. No, let me look it up. It's Supernatural. And I don't know, it's not like horrible, but it's all about like angels and demons and God. So it's sort of interesting, I guess, but it's just kind of cheesy the way the way they film it and whatnot. But moral of the story, we're watching it, and a commercial came on of the King of Queens, and I wasn't even thinking about anything, Now when I think about it, just kind of interesting. The King of Queens, I've been talking a lot about the royal family and whatnot. But what I told her last night was, I said, Doug on this show is pretty funny. I like this show. Doug's pretty funny, but I said, in real life, in all of his movies and stuff, I think it's stupid. I don't like a lot of his movies. Or maybe not so much that I don't like the movies, I just don't think that he's a very good actor in them or something. But anyway, I talked about, Here Comes the Boom. For whatever the reason, I talked about that movie. And I said, don't you think it's kind of funny that his theme song in that movie came out in like 2002 or 2001? And then I remembered that this song, Boom, by POD, actually did come out in 2001. It came out on September 11th, 2001 on their Satellite album. So just want to show it here really quick. Came out on September 11th, 2001. It was track number 308, whatever. So just interesting it was on that movie. I know he's an older guy, but just still kind of interesting. That movie came out in 2012. So like they used that song on that movie. It just seems like a long time. So anyway, it stuck out to me because the song's actually called Boom. And we just had Prince Harry here with the whole mocking Obama or whatever. He pretends to drop the mic and says, boom. And Obama said, Obama out, and dropped the mic at the dinner, the correspondence dinner. Anyway, I looked up Prince Harry here. Prince Harry in Gematria just so happens to equal 135. Just like the date May 13th, right? 13/5 or 5/13. There's also been, I know that the Kanye West thing, there was a Kanye West thing where they turned off his mic on stage not too long ago. And then Obama dropped the mic or whatever. Even Prince was on some type of microphone tour, I believe. Yeah, it was the piano and a microphone tour. So interesting, he dies on the Queen's birthday. I've mentioned how my copyright claims came every time I put up a Prince video. Also, in Gematria, this is another reason why I think that it's connected to the Kanye West stuff. They turned off his mic. Mic turned off just so happens to equal 134. May 13th, the 134th day of the year. Just microphone in Gematria equals 116. Now this number is super interesting. I've talked about how there was a judge theme, and in the judge theme I mentioned a whole lot of 116. There was this Texas judge that was shot outside of her home on November 6th a lot like 116.11/6. I know I have a video on it too. I'll leave a link to my blog, and also I'll try to find them videos and link them in there so you can understand what I'm talking about. I can't remember it all off the top of my head, but it was in regards to the death of Antonin Scalia and then Obama nominating Merrick Garland. I mean, look at the time here. He nominated him at 11:06, a lot like 116. The video CNN gave us was 1 minute long. 1 minute in gematria equals 116. I even talked about how Obama did this on March 16th, which is also could be written as 16/3. There's a whole bunch of interesting things with 163 in gematria, like Make America Great Again, train derailment, Barack Hussein Obama, Obama assassinated. But, moral of the story, I want to get back to what I was talking about. We watched Supernatural. The King of Queens came on. It just reminded me of the Boom stuff. And she went to bed on the couch or whatever. I went upstairs. It's probably like 4:30 in the morning. Anyway, I turned the TV off upstairs. I went to bed. And then right before I had to get up for work, it was probably like just before 9 o'clock. I usually set my alarm for 9:02 or something weird like that because my phone was, who knows, it's just at 9:02 for some weird reason. But, so it's probably like a little bit before 9. All of a sudden, I woke up because the TV made like a loud static noise. And then it just turned on. Like the TV turned on all by itself. It made this loud like noise that Dish Network actually does when it resets, but my TV was off, so that doesn't make any sense. And nobody's here to turn the TV on. And I went downstairs and my girlfriend was sleeping like out cold on the couch, so there's no way she turned my TV on. So I was like, okay, maybe that's pretty weird, So I went back upstairs and I paused it and I looked at the info of what was on, and it just so happened to be on channel Boomerang, but it didn't say Boomerang, it just says Boom on my Dish Network. And it's channel 175, I believe. And I talked about that in regards to 9/11 with a flight 175. I know it says it on here somewhere. Channel 175 on Dish Network. And it just says Boom. And I'm like, what are the odds of that? I'm talking about Here Comes the Boom. And I was thinking about Prince Harry dropping the mic and saying boom. And then my TV magically turns on in the morning and it says it's on channel Boom. Now what's interesting, the TV show that was on is also interesting. It was the Garfield show, which interesting in itself because I've been mentioning the assassination of James Garfield and how it ties into all these Amtrak derailments. He was the 20th president who got shot and then died 79 days later on September 19th. So also in gematria, Garfield just so happens to have identical gematria to Boom. Not identical, but the Jewish gematria, both of 132. And this is interesting because it actually ties into the death of Antonin Scalia. Antonin Scalia actually equals 132. But he also just so happens to equal the 404, just like Pope Francis, just like Prince Charles, just like Queen Camilla, just like the amount of verses in Revelation, just like how old the King James Bible is until May 14th if it went by the Julian calendar and not the Gregorian calendar. And actually it's May 15th, not May 14th. But anyway, the episode that was on too, it just so happened to be the 33rd episode. Now I'm going, what in the world? It's the 33rd episode. My TV magically turns on to Garfield. Just want to find it here. Episode 33. Professor Bonkers creates a holographic mailman to prevent Herman from constantly being tormented by Garfield. But when Garfield eats a taco, its sauce drips into the machine, causing the cyber mailman to deliver an early edition of the newspaper. This allowed John to buy the winning lottery ticket every day until the taco sauce causes the machine to blow up, destroying the post office lab. The explosion was foretold by John because of his early edition of the newspaper. Pretty interesting that this episode is about being able to see the future. The episode, also called Cyber Mailman. Cyber Mailman in Gematria, 116, the 116. Also interesting, this episode came out on 3/7 of 2011. That's the 66th day of 2011. It's been tons of the 66 and 666 this year. Also, if you go from that day to today, just so happens to be a span of 5 years, 2 months, 5 days. Just kind of interesting. The mirrors, 52 and 25. So I looked at it in Pythagorean Gematria as well. Interesting. I've talked about James Garfield, and I said, he died 79 days after being shot at the train station. The Garfield show equals 79 in Gematria. We've talked about how they're connected to Pope Francis and LeBron James. LeBron James's full name adds up to 79. Pope Francis turned 79 this year. Also, Garfield, the small way equals 44. Obama's the 44th president. The 43rd person to be the president, but all these other people are running to be the 44th person to be the president, but the 45th president. Also interesting, in Pythagorean, the episode title, Cyber Mailman, equals 53. Today has a date numerology of 53. 5 plus 12 plus 20 plus 16 equals 53. There's also another part to the episode. It's called Odie for Sale. John is in debt and decides he must sell some of his possessions to pay the bill. Garfield puts Odie on the stall for 2 cents. He is bought by a person. John is being sued, and it's up to Garfield to get him back by tricking the servant. So not so interesting as this one, but still just crazy in general. This one's about something blowing up, and it's also about seeing the future. Also, in Gematria, Odie for Sale just so happens to have the same Gematria as Omaha, Nebraska that I've talked about in the previous video. So, who really knows? I don't know what they're trying to show me. I know this says 46, but with the S exception, it would equal 55 as well. But yeah, who knows? Just wanted to post this really quick. I found it pretty interesting that, that just follows me. Weird stuff like that. It's like I'm totally trying to be shown something. What exactly that is, I don't know. But there's no way my TV just turns on and then it turns on to something that is significant to what was just recently even talking about, So, gonna leave it at that. Hopefully I took the day off tomorrow actually, so hopefully I'll be able to put a few more videos out that I've wanted to put out about like 50 Cent and whatnot. So, anyway, have a good one. Actually, just a few more things. I have another minute here to talk. It says that it first aired on Cartoon Network in the United States. It was originally from France 3, so it didn't debut in the United States until November 2nd. 11-2, remember Prince died on the 112th day. Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday was also that same day. The Simpsons episode where they killed Prince was on 11-2, I believe even 2009. Actually, it was 2008. But anyway, it ends on 10-5. Remember, blood moon equals 105. And the other night, I realized that I think maybe they're trying to show me this 105 a whole lot. Blood moon equals 105. The last blood moon was on September 28th equals 105. Masonry, Zionism, 9/11, gay marriage. Remember Obama saying Amazing Grace on the day gay marriage was even legalized. But also, I talked about the wildfires in regards to Iowa. Old videos, what they always copyright claim, 105. And some other ones you can just read. I'm running out of time, so have a good one again.